My parents skipped my sick son in the hospital for my brother's big day. Now they came back asking for help, but I taught them something they won't forget. I'm a 38-year-old man, and I have my own work fix-up shop that fixes big stores. I've done this work for 11 years, and it was not easy to get here. When I was a kid, my folks showed how to raise one child while liking the other one more. I was the good kid, the one who got all A's, played school ball games, and worked small jobs since I was 15. But my younger brother, Mike, who is 33, got told good job just for putting on his own shoes. I'm not saying too much here. My dad fixed wires and made good money, but he was a man who thought showing feelings meant you were not a real man. My mom taught young kids and had lots of time for Mike's mistakes, but no time for mine. I recall bringing home school papers with all A's and 1 B+, and my mom asked why I got a B. Mike would bring home C's and D's, and they would take him out for sweet ice cream to say try more. I left home at 18. I paid for my own small school while I built things for work. Then I went to Indiana Big School to finish learning about business. I worked 80 hours each week, spending days at workplaces and nights in class, never asking my mom and dad for money. By age 27, I had saved enough cash to start my own fix-up shop. Small jobs at first, fixing baths, making wood decks, things like that. Slowly, people saw I did good work for a fair price. I got bigger jobs, fixing workplaces, food shops, and stores. I met Jessica when she asked me to fix the teeth doctor place where she cleaned teeth. She was smart, did not waste time, and had a laugh that made the room feel bright. We got married when I was 30, had our boy Jake 1 year later. Life was good. My work got bigger. We bought a house in a nice place with good schools. I worked hard, but got home to eat with my family most nights. Then, when I was 34, all broke. Jessica was driving home from work when a bad man drove fast through a red light, going 70 where he should go 35. She died right away. Police said she did not know what hit her. 1 minute, I was a happy dad with a wife and a shop. The next minute, I was planning to put her in the ground and trying to tell my 3-year-old boy why his mom would not come home. The first few weeks went by fast. I recall sitting on Jake's bed night after night as he cried to sleep, asking when his mom would come back. I would stay strong until he fell asleep, then go down and cry. My mom and dad came to the funeral, of course. My dad stood in his nice clothes, not knowing what to do, hit my shoulder one time and said she was a good woman. My mom gave me a hard hug and spent most of the time worrying about Mike, who was so sad about his brother's wife dying that he needed her all the time. They stayed for food at our house, then said they had to leave because Mike needed help moving to his new home. The one my dad said he would pay for if Mike did not, because Mike had no money left from buying too much with his cards. They did not even bring me food to eat. Not one call to see how Jake or I was doing in the weeks after. No offer to watch Jake so I could do my work or, cry for my wife for 1 hour. Jessica's mom, Carol, came on a plane from a far place the day after the crash and stayed for 3 months. She was 65 and had bad pain in her joints that made moving hurt. But she got up with Jake each morning, made his food, took him to a small school, then came home and washed clothes or cleaned or made food we could eat later. She would sit with me late at night when the quiet was too much, not saying much, just being there. When she had to go back to her home, she had to take care of her sick sister. She cried more than I had seen since the funeral. She made me say I would call her every day, and she came back every few months to be with Jake. After Jessica died, I built our new life step by step. I got a helper who picked Jake up from his small school and stayed with him until I got home. I changed my work days to be home by 6 at night most days. I learned to make food more than just meat and noodles. We made new ways to do things, found a new life. I called my mom and dad sometimes, mostly so Jake could know his mom's parents. They would see him maybe one time every few months, always when they wanted, usually for 1 or 2 hours at a food place, where they spent most time on their phones or talking about Mike's new work plan that just needed a little money to start. So yes, they have always been hard to deal with, only thinking of themselves. But what happened 5 years ago is when I stopped talking to them for good. It was a morning in April. I know because I had a big work meet that day, and I was thinking about what I would say while I made Jake's food. He was 6 then in first grade, loved big old animals that used to live in space. He was at the table eating cereal and telling me how a T-Rex could not run fast because it was too big, something he learned from a show we saw the night before, when he just stopped talking. His spoon fell from his hand, made a loud sound on the bowl. I looked up from my drink to see his eyes go back in his head. Before I could get to him, he fell off the seat and hit the floor. His body got hard, then started shaking hard. Blood came from his nose and I saw he bit his tongue. I took a class to help sick people after Jessica died, one thing I did to not feel so helpless in a world that showed me I had no control. I turned him on his side, made sure he could breathe, and counted the time he shook. When it went past 2 minutes and did not stop, I knew this was very bad. I picked him up, got my keys, and ran to the car.
I put him in the back seat, still shaking, and drove very fast, making the 15-minute drive to the sick place in less than 7 minutes, not stopping at red lights or stop signs. I drove right to the help door, carried him in, and yelled for help. A group of helpers and a doctor ran over with a bed with wheels. I put him down, his small body still moving, blood and wet stuff around his mouth. "How long has he been shaking?" the doctor asked. "About 9 minutes now," I said, looking at my watch. They took him back right away, saying doctor words I did not know. A helper told me to go to the desk while they took him away. I stood there with his blood on my shirt, answering questions and writing on papers with hands that shook. 4 hours went by before a doctor came out to talk to me. Dr. Martinez was a woman in her 40s with tired eyes who spoke straight. "Mr. Wilson, your boy has a bad sick bug in his head. It is very bad. The bad bugs have made the parts around his brain and back get big and sore. The shaking was because of this big soreness. We have given him strong bug-fighting drugs, but the next 2 days are very important," she said. They were putting him in the very sick part of the hospital. The head bug had got bad fast, and they were worried about his head getting too big inside. If the drugs did not make the big soreness go down fast, they might need to do something to let the pressure out. I walked with them as they took Jake to the very sick part. He was not awake, with more machines than I could count. A machine was breathing for him. Tubes went into both arms. Machines made sounds, checking how his body worked. I sat next to his bed, holding his soft hand, trying to think how we went from talking about big old animals at breakfast to this bad dream in just a few hours. While talking to doctors and helpers, I called to change all my plans. My work boss said he would do the day-to-day work. The people I worked for were nice when I told them what happened, but there was one meat I could not change. After 10 years of building my shop, we were going to get a $1.5 million job to fix a group of nice workout places. The money people were flying from a far country for just this one night to sign papers and make the plan all done. The whole thing needed me to be there from 6 at night to 10 at night.
My work friend, Dave, was in another country that week, meeting with people who sell us things. I was the only one who could sign the last papers. If I missed this meet, the money people might leave. They had other work people waiting. If we did not do this job, it would let me get more workers, do bigger jobs, and most important, make more money for Jake. After Jessica died, making sure Jake had what he needed was all I thought about. I called the main helper to ask how Jake was doing. "He is okay for now," she said. "The bug drugs are being given, and we are watching his head pressure close. The head doctor will check on him all night." Then I called my mom and dad. They lived 15 minutes from the sick place in the same house I grew up in. "Mom, it's Mark," I said when she answered. "Jake is in the very sick part with a bad head bug. It is very bad. I need you and Dad to come sit with him for just 4 hours tonight while I do this big job. It is very important." "Of course, Mark," she said right away. "We will be there. Do not worry about Jake. Do your meeting." Hearing her say yes so fast made me feel better. Even though we had a hard time with them, they were Jake's mom's parents. They would help when it was bad. By 5 at night, they were at the sick place. My dad nodded at me like he always does, not showing feelings. My mom touched Jake's hand and fixed his hair. "We can do this," she said. "Go do your work." I told them all things. Which doctors were there, what the helpers said about looking for signs his head was getting too big, when he would get his drugs. I wrote down where my work meet was, and when I would be back. "Call me right away if anything changes," I said. I mean, anything. "Go, Mark," my mom said, sitting in the chair next to Jake's bed. "This is important for your life. We will call if anything changes." I kissed Jake's head, thanked my mom and dad again, and left for my work meet. I felt bad leaving him, but I thought my mom and dad would stay with him. I believed, even with all that happened, that they would do the right thing when it was very bad. The meet with the far country money people was at a nice hotel in town. Mr. Chang and his group were waiting in the room when I got there, all in nice clothes, while I still had the same clothes from that morning, but not the shirt with blood that I changed at the sick place. "Mr. Wilson," Mr. Chang said hi to me with a strong handhold. "We want to make our work deal done." I said sorry for how I looked, and told them a little that my family had a bad thing happen, but I was ready for our meet. Mr. Chang nodded nice, and we started to work. The talk went very well. We looked at building plans, talked about when to do the work, made the last money plans. By 8:30 at night, they were happy with everything and ready to sign the papers. I looked at my phone without thinking and saw I had made it quiet for the meet. No calls or texts, which I thought was good. Jake must be okay. Mr. Chang saw me look. "You look worried, Mr. Wilson. Is everything okay?" I waited, not wanting to stop the meet when we were almost done. "My boy is in the very sick part. My mom and dad are with him." But he put his hand up. "Say no more. Family comes first. We can do this tomorrow if you need." I was surprised he understood. "Thank you, but I think we are almost done. Let's sign the papers and then I can go back to him." We signed the papers in the next 30 minutes. When we shook hands to finish the deal, Mr. Chang held my hand for a little longer. "Mr. Wilson, my oldest grandson got very sick when he was little. I missed a big meet to be with him. That workplace went with another person, but my grandson got better.
I have never been sad about my choice, not one time. His words made me feel strong. I thanked him, got my work bag, and drove back to the sick place, getting there at 9:10 at night. When I got off the lift to the very sick part, I knew right away something was wrong. There was a lot of action around Jake's room. When I walked in, I saw his bed with helpers and Dr. Martinez all around it. They were fixing machines, checking the beeping things, putting new drug bags on him. No sign of my mom and dad. Dr. Martinez looked up and her face changed from work worry to very mad. "Mr. Wilson, where were you? We've been trying to call someone for 3 hours. Your boy's head pressure got very bad about 2 hours ago. We had to do a fast head hold to let the pressure out of his brain." "What did you do?" My mind tried to understand. "We had to make a small hole in his head to put a tube in and let the pressure out," she said, seeing I did not understand. "No one was here to say yes. We had to do it because it was an emergency. If we had waited any longer, he could have had his brain hurt for life or died." I stood still, trying to think about what she said. My mom and dad should have been here. I left them here with him at 5:30. Nick, the main helper, came to me. His face showed both sad and mad. "Sir, no one has been here with your boy since about 6:15 at night. We called the numbers in his papers over and over. When we could not reach anyone, we did emergency rolls to do the needed help." I looked at my phone. 17 missed calls from the sick place. In my fast run to get to the meet on time, I had made it quiet and forgot to look at it during the talk. I called my mom right away. No answer. I tried my dad. Same thing. I called again and again, leaving more and more sad voice messages. "Where are you? Why did you leave Jake? Call me back now." I sat with Jake, watching the machine push air into his small body. The new bandage where they made a hole in his head to let the pressure out. Dr. Martinez told me they saw the pressure get bad just in time, but almost too late. Without the emergency help, he could have died or had his brain hurt for life. Around midnight, still no word from my mom and dad, I opened Facebook to tell friends who might want to know about Jake. The first thing I saw made me stop. My brother Mike, with friends at a big food place in town. A 33 balloon behind him. Words: "Best birthday food ever. Thanks Mom and Dad for the party." The picture was put up at 7:30 at night. My mom and dad were in it, both happy, holding up glasses to say cheers, while my son was fighting to live with a tube in his head to keep his brain from getting too big. They left to give Mike a surprise birthday food party. I looked at their happy faces in the picture and felt something in me break, then get hard. I looked at that picture for a long time, understanding what happened. They did not even call the sick place to see how Jake was. For all they knew, he could have died while they were getting first food and singing happy birthday. The mad feeling I got was cold and made things clear. I took pictures of the Facebook post, writing down the times, then closed it and thought only about my boy. Jake stayed not awake all night. The helpers came in every hour to check how his body was doing and the water coming from the tube in his head. Each time they told me he was okay, that his head pressure was going down, that the bug drugs were starting to work. I did not sleep. I sat in the chair next to his bed, holding his hand. At 6 in the morning, my mom and dad finally walked into the very sick part like nothing bad happened. I was still sitting the same way they left me the night before, but now Jake had a bandage on his head and the tube coming out of his head. My dad spoke first, his voice not worried. "How is he? We just went to get some food." My laugh was so cold it even surprised me. "Food for 12 hours? My mom's face got hard. "What do you mean by that?" I turned my phone to show them. Mike's Facebook post was still there. "This is what I mean." They both stood still. My dad spoke first, his face looking like I knew it would, like I was silly. "It was just for 1 or 2 hours. Mike had been planning this for months." "They made a hole in my boy's head last night," I said, my voice very quiet. "He could have died. I was not here to say yes because I trusted you." My mom stood up straight. "You are making too much of this. This is a sick place, Mark. He was okay. There were doctors all around. But Mike's 33rd birthday, that only happens one time." The words hit me like a hit to my body. And that moment, I saw very clear where Jake and I were with them. Mike's birthday food would always be more important than my boy's life. "Get out," I said. "Now you are just being silly," my mom said in a mean voice. "We helped you, and this is how you act. You have never been thankful. At least Mike likes what we do for him."
Get out, I said again, louder. A safety man came to the door, hearing our loud voices. Is there a problem here? My dad put his hand on my mom's shoulder. Let's go. He has always been like this, making small things big. As they left, my mom turned back. Do not call us for help ever again. Do not worry, I said. I will not do that again. After they left, I sat back down next to Jake. A strange, calm feeling came over me.
Something had changed for good. The last thing that tied me to my mom and dad had broken, and it felt good, like being free. Dr. Martinez came in later that morning to check on Jake. She looked at the tube in his head, checked his new blood tests, and changed his bug drugs. He is getting better, she said. The help went well, and the new tests show the bug drugs are working, but we are not done yet. We need to watch him close for 2 more days. I nodded, too tired and sad to talk. She sat in the chair next to me, her board on her lap. Mr. Wilson, as Jake's doctor, I need to tell you something. I looked up, ready for more bad news. What happened last night was very bad. Not taking care of a sick kid, she said, her voice quiet but strong. Your mom and dad left a very sick boy in the very sick part without telling the helpers. If we had not seen his head pressure get bad when we did... She stopped talking. I wrote down everything in Jake's papers, she went on. When they left, when we tried to call you and them, the emergency help we had to do. If you want to go to court about this, you can. I looked at her, surprised. You think I should take my own mom and dad to court? She looked right at me. I think what they did could have made your boy die. I have been a doctor for 20 years, and I have seen too many kids hurt because grown-ups did not do their job. That is all I am saying. After she left, I called Jessica's mom, Carol. She answered right away. How is my boy? She asked right then. She called every day to see how Jake was. I told her all things. The head bug, the head hole, my mom and dad leaving him for Mike's birthday food. I am getting on the next plane, she said right away. Do not leave his side until I get there. My work friend, Dave, called next. I sent him a text about the bad thing before the meet with the far country people. The deal is signed, I told him, but Jake is sicker than we thought. The far country people understand all the way, he said. Mr. Chang called me today. He said very good things about you. He said, you showed you were a good man in how you did things. They want to work with us for sure. He stopped, then said, do not worry about anything but your boy. The work can go on without you for a time. We have good workers. That afternoon, a helper came in with papers. Are you Mark Wilson? When I nodded, she gave me a card. This is Tom White. He is the sick you can. Tom was a nice-looking man in his 40s who did not waste time. He said the sick place had to tell the law people when a kid was not kept safe. What happened to your boy is one of those things. He said, the sick place will tell the law, but you can do things too. He told me what going to court might be like, why I could do it, not taking care of a kid, putting a kid in danger, making me sad, what money I could ask for, how long it would take. Talk to your own lawman before you choose, he said, but do not wait too long. There is a time limit to do this. When Carol got there that night, I knew what I would do. My mom and dad showed me who they were and where Jake and I were with them. Now I would show them what happens when they choose that. Jake stayed in the sick place for 2 weeks. The head bug was stopped in time so he would not be hurt for life, but he would need time to get well. He had bad head pain, was very tired, and light and loud sounds hurt him. Carol never left us, sleeping in the chair next to his bed, getting friends to bring us food. She was 65, and her joints hurt every time she moved, but she never said it hurt. I made a plan with my work. I went to work for 2 hours each morning while Carol stayed with Jake, then went back to the sick place for the rest of the day. My work boss did his job, taking care of workplaces and meets. We did not lose any work. Mr. Chang, the far country money man, surprised me by coming to the sick place one morning in the second week. He brought a wood robot he made for Jake and said we would do our planning meets after Jake left the sick place. Work can wait, he said just like that. I have been where you are. 20 years ago, my girl had very bad sick blood. I almost lost a big job because I would not leave her. Now, that workplace gives me the most money. He gave me his card with his own phone number. Call me when you are ready. The job will still be there. When Jake finally left the sick place, we had new ways to do things. Carol moved into my extra room just until Jake was strong again. 2 of my workers, Sam and Ben, started coming on weekends to help with yard work and house fixes I had not done. Sam sat with Jake, teaching him card games and telling him stories while I did my work. Ben brought his kids to play with Jake when he was stronger, so Jake could play like a normal kid.
3 months after Jake came home, I met with John Smith, a lawman who helps people hurt by others or by bad doctor help. I brought all the papers, Jake's sick papers, the sick place reports, pictures of Mike's Facebook post, and my phone papers showing the missed calls from the sick place. John looked at all things very careful. "This is a good case," he said. "But I want you to know, taking family to court is always hard. It gets mean fast." "They stopped being my family when they left my boy," I said. "Even so, you need to be ready. They will say you left your boy to go to a work meet. They will try to say it was not bad. They will make it about feelings." We went to court the next week. For not taking care of a kid, putting a kid in danger and making me sad. We asked for money for Jake's sick bills, help he still needs, and the bad things he felt. The first court papers hit them hard. My dad called, very mad about family turning on him, and how I always wanted what Mike had. "You were taking your own mom and dad to court? Name one thing you did for me in the last 10 years, I said. "I will wait." The quiet on the phone was all the answer I needed. My mom tried a different way, calling crying about how this would break the family and make my dad's heart break. When that did not work, she said bad things about how everyone would know I was a son who was not thankful. I did not say that was a price I would pay. I just said, "See you in court," and put the phone down. The court thing took over a year. My mom and dad got a high-priced lawman who tried to say I was a bad dad who left his boy for a work meet, but the sick place papers were very bad for them, and Dr. Martinez's talk about the emergency help and my mom and dad leaving could not be argued with. We had people who saw, helpers, the desk person at the very sick part who wrote down when they left early, even the food lady from the big food place who saw them come for Mike's party, talking about the nice balloons they brought. The last thing was Mike's Facebook post with the time and pictures, plus his own talk in court, where he said he knew my mom and dad left Jake in the sick place to go to his party. "Did you think to ask them to stay with your nephew?" John asked him in court. Mike moved his shoulders. It was my birthday. The judge's face when he said that told me all I needed to know. While the court thing went on, Jake kept getting better. The head pain slowly went away. His energy came back. He went back to school, played soccer again, started learning to fight, but he never asked about my mom and dad. We won. The judge said it very clear. The court finds the people who did this showed no care for a very sick kid. This is not just a family fight. This is a very bad case of not taking care of a kid that could have ended in death. The judge said my mom and dad must pay $750,000 for Jake's sick bills, help he still needs, and the bad things he felt. The judge also said my mom and dad must pay all the court costs. My mom and dad were not rich, but their house was worth money and they had money saved for when they got old. The judge's words would make them sell their house and use most of their saved money. When we left the court place, my dad came to me, his face white. "You broke us," he said with no feeling. "I hope you're happy." I looked at him, feeling nothing. "No, Dad, you broke yourselves when you left Jake. This is just what you owe." The money from the court went into a special save for Jake's school and things he will need later, with some put away for any more sick help he might need. I did not want or need their money. I wanted them to pay for what they did. 4 years went by after the court. Jake, now 11, was all better with no bad things from the head bug. He got all A's in school, played on a soccer team, and started making computer things. Carol moved to our town for good, buying a small house 10 minutes from ours.
She came to eat with us 3 times a week and was the grandma Jake should have. Sam and Ben stayed good friends. Our family did special days together. They were like Jake's uncles, teaching him to catch fish, helping him make a treehouse, coming to his soccer games and school shows. The work with the far country people got bigger, now $5 million each year. Mr. Chang and I became friends, and his workplace gave me chances I never thought I would get. My work now had 45 workers and was in 3 states. I heard from people we both know that my mom and dad had to sell their house and move to a small apartment across town. Mike's work tries all failed, and he moved in with them, still using the little money they had left. The court judge's words hurt them bad. They tried to say no, but lost. After paying law money and the money they owed, they had almost no money left for when they got old. My dad started working again, giving advice, but at 70, not many people wanted him. Then one night, my phone rang with a number I did not know. "Mr. Wilson, this is Mercy's sick place. Your mom came in with a very bad heart problem. She is asking for you." I sat there thinking about what they said. "I understand. Thank you for telling me." I did not run to the sick place. I ate dinner with Jake, helped him with schoolwork, and put him to bed. Then I drove slow across town, parking in the same sick place garage where I drove fast with Jake years before. When I walked into her room, my mom looked small and weak, with tubes and wires on her. My dad sat in a chair next to her, looking very old, like he was 70. His head came up fast when he saw me. "Mark, thank God, we need your help." I said nothing, just looked at both of them. "Your mom needs heart surgery," my dad went on. "Our insurance will not pay for all of it. We used all our saved money, Mike." He stopped talking. "Mike can't help us." My mom put out her pale hand. "Mark, I know we have not been close, but I am your mom. Please help us. We have no one else to ask." I looked at her hand, thinking about Jake's small fingers with bandages, the machine breathing for him while they ate birthday cake far away. "The surgery," my dad said. "It is $120,000 the insurance will not pay. We can pay you back slow after your mom gets better." "Like you paid back the court money?" I asked quiet. My dad's face got red. "That was different. That was you being mean." "Mark, please," my mom said soft. I moved closer to the bed, looking down at her. "You know when Jake was in the very sick part, and they had to make a hole in his head because his brain got too big? No one was there to hold his hand. No one who loved him was there to speak for him because you chose Mike's birthday party over your grandson's life." Tears filled her eyes. "I am sorry, Mark. I was wrong. We were wrong. Please do not make me pay for one bad thing." I got close to her face. "It was not one bad thing. It was a life of showing me where I was with you. And now you know where you are with me." I stood up straight. "You will be fine. But Jake's birthday? That is one time a year." The shock on her face was amazing. Her own words said back to her after all this time. My dad stood up fast. "You mean man, after all we did for you?" I turned to him calm. "Name one thing, Dad. I'm still waiting." He got small, sitting down hard. I walked to the door, then stopped. "I will have my work helper bring a check tomorrow for $10,000.
Enough to talk to a heart doctor who can help you pay slow. "That's it?" my dad asked, not believing it. "Your mom could die." I looked back at both of them. "This is a sick place. She will be fine." Then I said, "Think of the $10,000 as a gift from Jake." I asked him what we should do, and he said, "Help Grandma a little. Not because she should get it, but because we are not like them." The next day, I had my lawman bring the check and papers that said they could never ask me for money again. At the bottom, I wrote, "This is the end of us. This closes our book for good." That night, I sat outside with Carol, Sam, and Ben, watching Jake play soccer in the yard with Ben's kids. "You okay?" Carol asked, holding my hand. I nodded, watching my boy's face get happy when he made a goal. "Yeah, we will be okay." For years, I thought family was about blood and having to help. What I learned is family is who comes when you need them, not just when things are good, but when things are bad. Sam, Ben, Carol, Mr. Chang, these people who did not have to be family to us were there when it counted. I think back to that time in the sick place sometimes when the doctor told me they made a hole in my boy's head with no mom or dad to say yes because they had to do it. How close I came to losing everything that was important. How what my mom and dad did could have made Jake die or hurt his future. My mom lived through her surgery. One of my old work people is a heart doctor who said he would do the help for less money after my $10,000. I know this because he called to say it went well, not because they called to say thank you. Mike tried to call a few months later asking for money. I stopped his calls. He came to my work one time talking about a sure way to make money. The safety man took him out before he could finish talking about his next sure thing. Jake asked me not long ago if he had other grandmas and grandpas besides Carol. He was doing a family tree for school. I told him the truth, that my mom and dad were still alive but were not in our lives because they chose things that showed they could not be trusted to keep him safe. "Were they mean to you when you were little?" he asked. "Not exactly mean," I told him, "just not there when it was important." He nodded with that smart way kids have that surprises you, like how Sam lost his boy but still has time to teach me things, and how Grandma Carol's knees hurt but she still comes to all my games. "Just like that," I said. Last week I got a letter from my dad. My mom had another heart attack and died. The putting in the ground would be at their church. He said Jake and I could come. I did not go. I sent flowers with a card that said, "I am sorry for your loss," because even with all that happened, there was a time I called her mom. The truth is, I do not feel bad about leaving. I do not feel bad about the court, and I really do not feel bad about making a family I chose instead of one I had to have. Being family isn't about blood. It's about what you do. I am not saying what I did is right for all people, but it was right for us. Sometimes the most important thing you learn about family is knowing when to leave.